So I don't know how they did it. I don't know what spell, but have your ego attached to and attempt to subvert people's will and their personal responsibility and fucking turn them into experimental guinea pigs for vaccine. Yes, you need a fucking booster shots. They did not tell you that, did they? They said you're only gonna need 2 shots. Then you're gonna need the infusion. What's the infusion? The same booster shot, the same shit that doesn't work. You're gonna keep taking something that doesn't work, right? That's why it takes 10 years to develop. You're gonna help them take the 10 years to develop this fucking shit. Fucking vaccine, right? If I put you to an ultimatum, you can't come around, we can't be a family anymore unless you get poked, and then you find out this shit, and I'm telling you this shit, and your ego is attached to that, then a spell, whoever worked it on you, they are fucking amazing. That is a motherfucking warlock. See, you could be fear on my behalf if you want to, because of what I'm up against, but I'm not worried. It's just a matter of time. This kind of shit always just is a matter of time before the power of it wears off. And then you need a fucking acting troupe, a lone wingnut to come out of fucking nowhere. Frank Justra's acting Lionsgate fucking acting troupe. So what? He's a good guy. At least he doesn't lie. You don't even know Frank Trustra. At least he doesn't lie though. Like that's what they're not even showing up. I don't think they know they exist. I don't think that half of my family, half of my family doesn't know that they even exist yet. Or you know what I'm saying? Like it's not to say your life is significant. I'm saying you think your life is significant if you put me to that fucking ultimatum and you tuck your ego and attached it to being wrong. Because what? Because did you think that you had the patience for trials and to set up a control parameter setting to execute an experiment? You know what I'm saying? You have to understand at some point in time it's going to have to end unless you just change the name. Then you're just trying to get it out to society. You just want it to breach the parameters of the control setting and then leak out into society. Just like the Stanford experiment. You know? And another thing too, the Great American Experiment and America are two different things. If one ends, the other one does not end. Only the experiment part, because we wanted to know which way to take the direction of the architecture. Which agenda do you want to fulfill? Is this England? To know if the architecture fits with it, because the ambiance, the atmosphere, the ecologies, the totemism, you know what I'm saying, the zoo or those like zoological, like the totemism and totem is the different things too. I fuck up. And so I forget. Totemism is probably not the same thing as a totem pole. But what do you call that? Okay. We have a hawk in Atlanta, the Hawks, right? The Thunderbird of the Iroquois, right? That's the top of the totem. And in Egypt, or in the East, it was the falcon. So the Masons are doing this. You know what I mean? It's like what we have here is already not enough. That if you are a Baptist minister, you still have to duck behind the couch when the Jehovah's Witnesses come through and knocking on the door. Because we already, you know what I'm saying? We don't already have that. But like, okay, like why don't you just, if it's nothing wrong with emulating something that has been popular in the past. Why didn't they connect the federal state highway to the Golden Gate Bridge on the road to Emeryville? That, right? Because there's an agenda in that. The FSH was already called the Golden State Highway, like a yellow brick road. Emeryville, you already have lined up, then it should cross the Golden Gate Bridge into Emeryville. It's hard to, I wouldn't look at shit like that. You know what I mean? Like, you'd be like, oh man, that's out of sight, out of mind, or there's no there with that. Get out of here with that. But they had the intention to do this to make an impression. It was the impression they want to leave is the agenda and the architecture that they wanted to. That's why they called it a great American experiment. It wasn't just to see if we could hold out as some settlers. And, you know what I mean? Because settlers are everywhere you go, there's always some holdouts. There's not. And then how they settle and the networks that they build is the reason why nobody else is allowed to settle there. And I'm not saying that they're wrong or anything like that. They can disallow you to settle there because they need a place to go. And so you can't guarantee that there will be one left for you just because you've taken care of everybody. You're going to turn around and find nowhere to go. So there's no, you know what I'm saying? That's why the plebiscite doesn't work, you know what I mean? The plebiscite is just gets owned. They just get ran. They just get owned and then they get run. They get ran.